What's up, y'all? It's Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, and we're posted up today at the Premio booth at Embedded World in Austin, Texas. This is the trade show, which is typically a European trade show, now planting some roots in North America to bring the embedded ecosystem together. The hardware players, the software players, the edge computing players, and the IoT ecosystem, the modules that are delivering on powerful use cases at the edge, taking advantage of all of the innovations in specialized computing. So we've been here at the trade show all day with the Premio team, and now it's time for a little recap with the Premio product marketing team, where we're going to not only give some further insights into Premio's product portfolio in the context of the embedded ecosystem, but more specifically, we're going to talk shop a little bit on what we learned throughout the trade show today. Some thoughts on embedded world now in North America, right? And looking ahead at how Premio is going to continue to lead the charge for rugged edge applications and solutions. So let's go ahead and introduce the team. Hello, Premio team. Welcome. It's great sitting down with all of you here. We've had some one-on-ones today. We've been doing some social content, but now it's time for a big group discussion. First one of its kind, hopefully not the last. We're going to be doing a lot of panels with this team. So thank you again to all of you. Let's go down the line. If you could each just give a basic intro, just give us your name and the hub, the slice of Premio products that y'all specialize in. We'll start down the line with Yusuf.
Sure. So my name is Yusuf Hatem. I'm quote unquote in charge of the industrial touchscreen computers here at Premio. Everything from our touchscreen computers in the industrial edge, rugged edge, and specialized edge.
My name's Ethan. I'm the bar market specialist here at Premio, and I'm in charge of the flagship x86 super rugged industrial computers, also known as our RCO series, and the ACO series, which is our railway deployed computer, and the VCO series, which is our machine vision computer.
Hi, folks. I'm Lu Yang, a product marketing specialist at Premio, so I'm in charge of the NVIDIA Jetson AI Edge Rugged Fanless Computer, the JCO series, and I'm also in charge of the ECO series, supercapacitor UPS, and also WCO series waterproof computers here.
And I'm Colin. I'm product marketing specialist here at Premio as well. I'm in charge of the BCO series, which is our x86 semi-rugged industrial computers, and also our KCO series, which is our fan industrial computers, and also our industrial motherboards.
So we've got the whole squad here, folks, from every corner of the Premio world. So let's recap a little bit. It's been a jam-packed day. We've been doing a lot of interviews. We've been talking to a lot of attendees, exhibitors, other vendors. I'm curious what y'all think of the show, right? How's it been so far? Just give us the honest takes. How's it been?
I mean, it's been a long day, but I think it's been a very...
3 Red Bulls deep.
Yeah, 3 Rebels deep, 2 Celsius in deep. But I think overall, it's just been a very exciting day, especially today. We've had a lot of time to, talk to a lot of different exhibitors, get their ideas, get their opinions, and get their really overall, their own thought leaderships and in comparison to kind of what we, do as Premio as well. So just getting a lot of time to, converse with other people and really understand, what they're doing and how it relates to, edge computing as a whole ecosystem, and, understanding, where they're, able to bring value as well, and how Premio is also able to bring value to this whole, space.
Honestly, it was really cool to see the software side of the edge computing side, where a lot of these software companies, they're actually relying on edge computing hardware, and how it meshes both hand in hand. When I asked a couple software companies, what do you think about edge computers? They're like, oh, we have this software that runs, this certain application, and that's why we need this rugged, computer that's supposed to do this and this and that. And I was like, yeah, it's connecting the dots. Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that this whole entire trade show is about the edge computing. It's good to see that you have software, you have hardware like us, and you even have full stack solutions. And it's great to know that a lot of the market trends that we always talk about, like all of us here, always talk about real-time performance, edge AI computing, and we're seeing it all live here at the show. So it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, for me, I think I absolutely like this show because there are lots of key players in semiconductors and embedded computing. So it's actually a very good chance to also learn from them. I also say edge AI is happening in no matter in industrial computers, but also in like, for example, microcontrollers, in sensors. And there are like some trends that we absolutely need to learn from. And yeah, it's just a super good thing for us.
Totally. Well, I love this mix of answers, right? Because I think what it showcases is that this show really is a great kind of microcosm of all of the different players that are making specialized computing innovative, right? And that are delivering real solutions for different industries. And what's cool is that it all comes back to edge computing. Like, when I was prepping for the show, I was trying to make better sense of, how do all these different players in an embedded ecosystem interact with edge computing? Like, obviously there are, hardware bits and chips and memory and storage that goes into them. There's the downstream, IoT devices that are going to be powered by the edge computers. But I very quickly realized that it's like edge computing is the real nucleus of this entire ecosystem. There is no innovative, railway automation system, with cool IoT modules or vision sensors without an edge computer powering them, right? And these great, memory and storage solutions and processing solutions and edge AI, they're great, but without the ecosystem of an edge computer to actually apply them with purpose and intention, they're just a cool chip, So how did that kind of shape y'all's view? I mean, knowing that being the rugged edge specialists, y'all are one of the players providing like that engine for the entire industry. How did that kind of come into focus for y'all today at the show? Or I don't know, what other thoughts do you have on that?
I think I like to treat it like cars. When you're manufacturing a car, you need to have all the components to build the car, the engine, the wheels. And for us, I feel like we're the ones that are really putting the mold of the car together with all the different components. And now we're just missing is software to add the telematics and everything to get the car actually running.
Yeah.
So we are just we are an essential piece of this humongous puzzle in the ecosystem. And without us, everybody else can't really rely on producing a proper solution.
You're like the chain link that connects all the other pieces together.
And without them, we don't work as well.
Right, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about any other cool technologies you saw at the show and kind of how that reflects some key trends maybe too that are shaping the industry, right? I know we saw a lot of technologies today and spoke to a lot of folks with interests in robotics, right? How edge computing is powering robotics. Same with fast 5G, improved connectivity. AI obviously was big. Everyone talking about edge AI and how that's going to power their solutions for their customers. So what did y'all see? Any of those stand out as like a big conversation point or anything we didn't touch on?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that you mentioned is already AI. I think that kind of captures the entire show from this whole viewpoint. If they're not talking about AI, they're kind of missing the key trend. But beyond AI, and everything else, there's always little bits and pieces from that people are innovating or looking for types of solutions to kind of be involved with. Because AI is just one one kind of like big idea concept, and it's what they do with it and how they're taking some sort of framework or some sort of solution and kind of bringing it to the an end user overall solution or deployment. I think whether it's seeing like a new type of IoT module that that's going to be connecting to some edge computing device. I think that's the most important thing that we saw here. It's how are people taking AI to the next level.
Totally.
Another thing I observe is the IT-OT convergence, because I do say there are lots of sensor applications. So through sensors, they collect data and they will combine as our industrial computers. We kind of use our AI inference capabilities to analyze data in real time so that it can realize the like decision making in real time, and we can form the decision immediately.
So I talked to a lot of different exhibitors here, and it's really great to know all the different types of technologies they offer. But one key pain point that they always mentioned is lower latency. And with all these different types of IoT devices providing a lot of data, they need to be able to process all the data in real time very quickly so that they have some kind of actionable insight or decision making. And that's like the major takeaway that I got from talking to all these different types of exhibitors and attendees.
Same. I was actually going to say kind of the same thing as Lu Yang, where I saw a lot of like sensors for like IoT and OT convergence in terms of, for example, like a GPS tracker. There was a GPS tracker that takes the precise location from like 5 meters all the way down to like 10 millimeters for like real-time data actually tracking for like, you know, cars that are going like down the road where they need to be that precise, and how it's supposed to be implemented in like in an edge computer.
Wow. Well, you know, what's also cool about, you know, having conversations with so many different players in the ecosystem is you start to see that everyone is starting to find their niche. You know, even though this industry is fast evolving, you know, and it isn't fully defined yet, you know, like how we're even going to see digital transformation or Industry 4.0 take hold in all of these different sub-industries. It's clear already that the smartest companies out there are the ones that are specializing their products and their solutions to specific use cases, whether that's industrial automation or intelligent transportation, like y'all were talking about, or security, or you know, any other number of solutions. So I wanted to connect that with some previous conversations we've been having. We've had discussions as a crew about the edge continuum, right? This is a big sort of perspective shift that Premio is bringing to the whole industry, and that y'all are helping define too with your own products as you kind of shape up that like the edge is not just the edge has edges within itself, you know, the edge of the edge of the edge of the edge. So could y'all break down again for us and remind our audience how you conceive of this edge continuum? I know you've defined it into 3 core categories, but could you just break that down for us again, and maybe connect the dots a little bit with how you saw some of the different you know, solutions providers or conversations you had today kind of reflect that reality that the edge is getting more precise and defined. So we'll start with just let's redefine the continuum.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I can kind of kick it off, you know, how we define the edge continuum. Like you said, there's so many edges within the edge, and not one solution is going to be the same. You know, there's going to be people who are looking to do different types of things, different types of deployments in different types of environments. And, you know, not one single computer is going to solve every single problem. So for us, understanding, you know, where a lot of people are deploying at the edge, where they're, you know, what their challenges and pain points, you know, what type of environments they're in, allows us to section it off into buckets. So the buckets that we define is the industrial edge, the rugged edge, and the specialized edge. And each of those 3 have their, you know, defined criteria, you know, with each of our own products that kind of sit along those buckets that really help the customer and us kind of, you know, strengthen and, you know, be a little bit more laser focused on, you know, how to provide the right type of solution for those type of people in that kind of environment, that bucket, to, you know, help them, you know, find the right edge computer in their overall deployment.
Yeah. Now, the second part of the question, again, I'd love to get y'all's perspectives on this. The edge continuum defined into industrial, rugged, and specialized edges. How does that, you know, further definition of the edge show itself in real time with some of the conversations y'all had today and some of the different products and solutions you saw out on the show floor, and folks coming to pick your brain here on Premio at the booth?
I will start from rugged edge, because one of my product lines sits in the rugged edge. So rugged edge, the products are usually sit in a very extreme environment. So because it's extreme, it usually can be in outside, and it's usually has lots of like dust. So we require our products to have a very wide temperature. So from -40 to like 60, 70 Celsius. And also, so since there will be lots of dust, so our products needs to be dust proof. So in cooling technology wise, we cannot just use fan. We need to be fanless, which requires us to use like passive cooling. And also the form factor wise, it needs to be kind of tight, a smaller form factor. And for the power wise, because it sometimes cannot have a very big power supply, so it needs to have a very power efficient performance.
To add on to that, like if you want to simply just define the difference between rugged and industrial, is an environment-wise, it's more controlled. It's somewhere where you can actually easy access, you can change something right away. Rugged is where it's going to be more extreme. You know, like Lu Young said, you're going to need a lot more wide operating temperature. It's not as controlled. You know, there's going to be more debris. There's going to be a lot more of a harsh environment around it.
Yeah, and just to add on to the rugged edge, since the RCO series is in the rugged edge continuum, these devices are being put into mobile applications or even extremely remote applications, like, for example, a surveillance trailer on top of a mountaintop to scan for wildfires. Not a lot of maintenance crews can actually drive up there in the middle of the season to actually maintain and make sure that it's operating properly. Same with AGVMRs. They expect that all these computers inside of vehicles need to operate reliably and for 24/7 operations. For the industrial edge, you're really looking at something that is not as rugged, but still can maintain industrial durability. So you need that type of durability to meet factory floor requirements and stuff like that. And for the specialized edge, we also have specific certifications or compliances or even features like IP69K rating to be put into the specialized edge. These products that we have are put in there because they have a specific niche or a specific feature to help propel itself into a specific industrial application.
Yeah. And not only propel itself in those niche places like those applications, that without those certifications, without those, specific configurations, they won't function. They won't even, operate, because you're going to need that, IP rating, or you're going to need some sort of EMC conformity or railway certification in order to be, that player in there. So that specialized edge really helps us put a nice little, bow tie, I would say, on those products, and kind of like give it this really, really, specialized, use cases.
One of the use cases that stood out to me that I heard y'all talking about and other folks talk about on the trade show floor was edge computing to help power IoT gateways. As we get more and more nodes deployed out at the edge and the edge of the edge, you have an increasing need for nodes that support nodes, right? These kind of like hubs of mini ecosystems at the edge that help make sense of the data, process it, feed it back to the cloud if needed for storage. Regardless, I'm curious, what other kinds of conversations y'all heard today around IoT gateway use cases, and how you're seeing today's edge computers, specifically Premios, meet the needs and kind of step up to the task of helping support these edge ecosystems of IoT devices.
Yeah, I mean, IoT gateways is, one of those key things that I think we talked about a lot today with a lot of people. But for IoT devices specifically, we're seeing so much data being generated by the devices, whether it's a camera, whether it's a sensor. That data is being, generated by that device, and it's going to be needed to be processed and stored somewhere. That's where, these edge computers, what we like to call as IoT gateways, specifically, like, for example, like my BCO 1000, or it's there to really be that central plane, the brains to connect with those devices, really take that data that it's generating, whether it's a camera feed, and process it and give that real time inferencing or a real time processing at the edge, where it doesn't need to have to bounce all the way back to the cloud and come back where there's a lot of latency and delays. And the IoT gateways from the BCO can go all the way to even from semi-rugged to super rugged, for the Ethan's line. I'll let him kind of tell a little bit more about how RCO can drive IoT gateways as well.
The IoT devices that we see are all becoming smarter, but even though the cameras have AI in them, doesn't mean that edge computers are not required anymore. There's a huge proliferation and explosion of IoT gateways and IoT devices right now. And with AI being installed into every single one of the IoT devices, all that data needs to be consolidated into a single box somehow. And that's where really all of our IoT gateway solutions come in. We're able to consolidate all the different type of devices, process it in real time, and either provide an AI decision-making or send it to a cloud for even further deeper learning.
In terms of connectivity, I think that's also very, very important. From that standpoint, if you think of IoT gateways, I like to look at it from the standpoint of you need the information to actually come in. And a lot of users, they need either a certain amount of ports or a certain amount of IOs that actually need it to connect to the edge computer. And that's where, the Edge Boost IO obviously comes in, where in terms of configuring the computer into what IO you actually need and how many of them you need also really comes in handy.
So as we wrap up our panel here, I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on how edge computing is evolving. Being that edge compute is that connective chain link for the whole industry. Y'all are both having to stay responsive to what the rest of the industry needs and can provide, but you're also in the unique position to kind of package up and productize the future of your industry and help deliver solutions that future-proof and anticipate some of these really innovative use cases, especially the most rugged or the most demanding ones with a lot of data points to process and make sense of. So I'm curious what you would define as the kind of current state of edge compute based on the conversations you've had today. Like, how matched is the current state of edge compute with where the rest of the industry is at? And what direction do you believe edge compute is headed based on the other conversations that you've had today?
From my perspective, I can definitely see everyone's kind of heading to not the same path, but a very, very similar path in terms of like not even design, in terms of even chipset, where you can see other people using like the similar chipset that they want to go to because that's going to help them design the edge computer in a certain way where they're going to have a certain operating temperature that's going to allow them to push it to this direction. So you can kind of see that, you know, a lot of people are kind of taking the same steps. And this is where you just have to find a way to stand out.
I'll piggyback on that one too. It's like one of the conversations I had, the takeaway, I asked them, like, what do you hope to see from the edge computing industry yourself as, you know, depending on it for your solutions? And he said standardization. You know, we want to see more edge computers out there kind of standardized, you know, how they operate, you know, be ready for scaled mass deployment. So that's exactly in line with what you're saying. People out there want powerful edge computers, they want flexible edge computers, but you know, they still kind of want the black box solution that they can standardize and deploy at scale. So pretty cool. What else did y'all see?
You know, I think just kind of building off that, I think it is going in that direction. You know, people want standardization, and I think to get to that point, you know, we're still in this kind of, you know, there's a push and pull. Like we're seeing a lot of people express their challenges, express their pain points, and we're building solutions off of that. It's like, okay, how do we counter this challenge? How we, you know, tackle this? And then it's going in this kind of zigzag direction where it's like we recognize certain ways, certain challenges, and we're building solutions off of that. And it's eventually getting to the point where we're able to kind of meet in the middle and eventually build that standardization. And I think for us, you know, being agnostic to a lot of different type of deployments is one way that we're getting there, because, you know, we're building, you know, through our, whether it's edge with technology or just having, you know, a wide range of IO ports that support, you know, both, you know, legacy, you know, all, you know, RJ45 LAN, USB, just kind of have that whole variety allows people to kind of just build that standard from there. So I think, you know, this push and pull is eventually going to converge together and, you know, become, you know, the golden standard.
For me, I also think there is a growing demand for NVIDIA Jetson products, because since edge AI is booming right now, we want more products that is more power efficient while also can thrive in a space constrained environment. So that's why NVIDIA Jetson is kind of growing in this era. And also, I think another trend is the integration of 5G and Wi-Fi 6E, because we need like a lower latency, and 5G and Wi-Fi 6E will be very perfect in this scenario.
Yeah, so just to kind of piggyback of Lu Young's 5G discussion, I think that with more machines and IoT gateways being utilized, they all need to start talking to each other, whether it be an AGV AMR or even some kind of surveillance solution. By allowing our machines to talk to each other very quickly and very easily, you're able to have a very nice and streamlined facility that's able to communicate with one another without you touching a single button. And that's kind of what the era of AI is all about, is to automate and push AI to its limits so that a lot of the tasks are now automated and productivity is enhanced.
I mean, we're at an exciting point for edge computing. It's clear that the industry, you know, is demanding a lot of capabilities from today's edge computers, but what is already here as a foundation, like what Premio is bringing to the table, it's clear based on the conversations I had today with folks where they were saying what they wanted to see out of their edge computing solutions. In the back of my head, I was like, Premio has that, Premio has that, Premio has that, you know. So it's cool to see that your product suite is already meeting the mark. And at the same time, it's as you're like defining the edge continuum and all of these, different slices of the edge, you're further refining your solutions as the rest of the industry still starts to, fine tune its niche as well. So I see Premio as leading from the front in a lot of ways, which is really cool. And it's been a really validating show, like just seeing what y'all are doing, the wealth of knowledge you're bringing to the space, and the fact that the industry is asking for things that Premio is already providing. So it's pretty awesome. I think that does it for our panel here. Y'all have killed it. Thank you for your insights today, your collaboration. It's been great. We learned a lot. We, dove into all of Premio's systems. But of course, there's always room to learn more. So where can we point our audience if they want to tap into more content?
3, 2, 1, premioinc.com.
I literally was gonna do like, let's do it, 1, 2, 3, so that's perfect. I'll add premioinc.com. Thank you, folks. Again, we've been here with Yusuf, Ethan, Lu Yang, and Colin, the product marketing team for Premio, breaking down the full suite of products. If you want to tap into more from the Premio team, including more episodes of the Rugged Edge Survival Guide, you can find those on premioinc.com. And of course, more resources about all of Premio's products, solutions, and services. Thanks again, team. It's been a pleasure today. Real fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. And we'll catch you all single cam on the next episode of the Rugged Edge Survival Guide. We'll catch you with some more content here soon. I'm your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, signing off live from Austin for Embedded World.